My Dragon Quest journey continues on, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my experience with Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King. And spoilers, this is going to be a good one. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got you covered with timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to a certain section of this video, feel free to do so, whatever floats your boat. All I ask is you to support the channel and hit that like button, and if you want to stick around for some more Dragon Quest content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. I streamed my entire playthrough of Dragon Quest VIII, and it was such a pleasure to be able to share that journey with you all. So if you're wanting to follow me for more journeys in the future, then please consider giving me a follow. Also, the version I played was the PS2 version. I wanted to just stick it with the basics. I know that the 3DS version has many quality of life. You can see enemies on the field, there's a few extra characters here and there, and there's a few other things crammed in as well. But I just wanted to stick with the version that I decided not to play back in the day, and I'll go into that, my brief story, my brief history of Dragon Quest VIII. Now, I was pretty heavy into Final Fantasy at the time that Dragon Quest VIII came out. I went to my local Blockbusters and I seen Dragon Quest VIII, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try the Dragon Quest series out. Let's see how things go. I took it back, I played it for a good 3 hours or so, and I was like, this isn't for me, and I decided to drop the game and send it back to Blockbusters. Yes, I'm agreeing with you all right now. What a fool. What a fool for turning down such a classic RPG on the PS2. I regret it, and I can tell you right now that the journey that I have had with Dragon Quest VIII has been fantastic. So let's start talking about Dragon Quest VIII, and we'll dive into the story, and I think it's fitting if we go over the synopsis on the back of the cover. A mysterious jester, a forbidden scepter, a fiendish curse. A once idyllic kingdom lies entangled in a web of enchanted vines, and its king and princess hideously transformed. Its castle and subjects frozen in time. Only one person has survived this horror unscathed. You! Only you can save your king and country by lifting the shadow of the evil jester's curse, but it won't be easy. An epic tale of friendship, bravery, and adventure awaits you on the grassy fields, snow-capped mountains, and restless seas of Dragon Quest, the Journey of the Cursed King. Honestly, reading that sells me even more. I want to play through it again because I felt the story to be fantastic. I love playing the role of the hero here in Dragon Quest VIII and venturing through and discovering more and more about the world, about the curse, finding out more about Dominguez and his path of destruction and what it eventually leads to, and then learning more about the history of the hero himself. I'm not going to go into too much detail with the story because I like to leave it open for those that have not played it and experience it the way I experienced it. Now, with a great story, you need great characters, and Dragon Quest VIII certainly delivers. Now, bear in mind, I'm talking about the PS2 version in particular, so if the things that I miss and they are part of the 3DS version, that's probably why. But for this version I played, the characters, they're strong. We got the hero, we've got Yangus, all right, Gov. We've got Jessica, and we have got Angelo. What a cast of characters to go around the world with. At first, I was thinking, hey, maybe we'll be meeting more characters, but the 4 heroes that we had for this venture was more than enough because there was a pretty damn strong supporting cast in each town that we decided to visit for each story beat. If you're probably wondering what my favorite character is, I think it'll come to no surprise. It is indeed Yangus. Core blimey. And for those that want to know what my least favorite character was, hopefully we can all agree in saying it was Prince Charmless, because what a douchebag. The characters definitely sold me. I believed, I invested. The voice acting we got here in Dragon Quest VIII definitely contributed to that because I really did despise Prince Charmless and his damn accent and just everything he was bringing to the table. And then the voice actors for the main cast as well got me through this game with ease. I'll touch on it ever so briefly because people may ask about this, but the post story, I really like what they did here. It gave me more of an insight about the hero himself, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out a few things along that journey. Okay, story, characters out the way, let's talk about exploration because Dragon Quest VIII certainly delivers. I've got to talk straight off the bat about the world map. Now, it doesn't have an overworld map compared to the previous Dragon Quest games, but what it brings is a sense of scale. Between each town, you have these big open zones, and they truly feel like a world map. I felt like I was traversing through a world map of old. There was chests to find, there were monsters to capture, and there's little nooks and crannies and little hidden dungeons here and there for me to visit as well. I loved the sense of scale, and then when I got the ship, and then when I had the ability to go fly, this opened up even more, going back to retread old ground, finding new items, going to that infamous slime island as well and getting some levels. You know what I'm saying, because we needed to level up a few times here and there. But all in all, this was a pleasure to traverse, and I wish more games tackled this approach to a world map where you have the sense of scale while on foot, but when you get the vehicles, it kind of goes for that overworld that we all know and love from the classic RPGs. The world of Dragon Quest VIII felt lived in. All the NPCs had something to say, and their dialogue changed as the story went on. This is a staple in the Dragon Quest series, of which I have thoroughly enjoyed because it does add to the overall lore and it gets you invested in this world. And also, when you're feeling a little bit lost, there's always going to be that one NPC that tells you exactly where you need to go. And I've got to shout out party chat as well. Not only was there a few times that I got lost, party chat was always a great place to go to kind of get a perspective of the story from the other characters I had in the party, and they also gave me a few hints of where to go next. We then have the usual Dragon Quest tropes: chests, pots, barrels, mini medals, all of these things crammed into the world to make it feel like it's worth exploring, and Dragon Quest VIII hits the nail on the head. And then there's dungeons. Dungeons were not bad here. Some of them had a few puzzles, some of them were quite tedious to get through, but all in all, Dragon Quest VIII delivers once again. So yeah, Dragon Quest VIII and its exploration, chef's kiss. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I want more games like this because it was a pleasure to go through. Dragon Quest VIII brought lots of extras to the table as well. We have the aforementioned mini medals. It was always nice to come across these and going over to Prince Mini to trade these for items that certainly helped me out along the way. We also had the casino when we went to good old Pick'em, if I'm remembering correctly, and it was just a preview of what the casino could be. But as you progress through the story, you get to go to a bigger casino and get to lose all your money and not win anything back. But again, there are items here that you can trade in that will certainly help you out on your way. One thing here that I didn't think I was going to enjoy as much, and I went all the way to the very end, was the monster arena. While traversing the overworld, there are enemies on the world map that you can engage in battle with, and once you defeat these enemies, you'll get a monster coin, whether that's bronze, silver, or gold, to trade in for some money, but you also have the opportunity to have this monster join your team. And the way the monster arena works is much like what Dragon Quest Monsters does. You have a general commands for each one of your monsters, and they attack or defend willingly or whatever they want to do. I thoroughly enjoyed doing the final rank of the monster arena with me playing these Dragon Quest games over time and having a few references here and there that surprised me. And the last thing here when it comes to extras is the alchemy pot. I played this as natural as I could. I didn't look up any of the recipes. I went to every bookcase just to see if it had a recipe. I spoke to every NPC because there's some NPCs, even some of the supporting cast of the game, can give you some recipes for you to implement into your alchemy pot. But not only that, it is a bit of a challenge to try and figure out what you need because it's quite vague on what it is. You need something silver, whether that's a sword or a shield. You need to kind of experiment and see if it works. But I really like this system. I'm sure if I had the index of all the recipes to my disposal, I would have got all of the high rated items along the way, but just playing it naturally and trying to figure these things out was such a pleasure. Oh, and for those that want to know if I hit my head while using zoom, no, didn't happen at all during this playthrough. Let's go back to Argonia. Maybe Alexandria might be. So we'll go to Alexandria. Oh yeah. It's been ages since we've been there. Might as well go back to Arcadia though. Did I get a zoom point for it? Yeah, Martyr's Cottage. So, what I can do... As I said on the ceiling. Bronze knives, with the hopes that once we get the bronze knives, we'll be able to... Back in Fairbury. Let's try it. Just zoom there, right? Mori's Monster Arena. So it just makes sense if we just go there straight. Time to move on to the combat of Dragon Quest VIII. And Dragon Quest VIII, since we're playing these Dragon Quest games in order, introduces a third-person view on battles. And after playing Dragon Quest VIII, I can see why people want more third-person, because some of these animations are pretty damn cool, especially when you get psyched up and you psych yourself up all to the point where you get these awesome-looking transformations and deal some heavy, devastating damage. Now, because I was playing the PS2 version, these battles were random. There was no enemies on the map like the 3DS version. I never felt like it was too much for me. I enjoyed these classic random battles, and the animations throughout these battles were pretty damn smooth. I liked how each character has a focus on a class. For example, the hero can either use a sword, a spear, a boomerang, which definitely helped out in the early game, or just the good old fisticuffs. And at the end of each battle, providing that you've leveled up to some degree, you can invest in certain points which will learn you different abilities. So it was really nice for me to experiment and think, well, which route would be best for Yangus? And Yangus was my axe-wielding defender type dude that really boosted up the defense, but at the same time broke the defense of the enemies. Jessica was more of my oomph, give me more attack and do some magical damage. Angelo was of course my healer, and the hero was my jack of all trades, master of none. That's about it when it comes to combat, and I feel like this is my most favorite of the combat of the Dragon Quest series that I've played. I don't get overwhelmed with the vocations, but it's not so simple that I'm just simply leveling up. It feels like that in between of them both, and it seems to be the perfect way for me to play combat in Dragon Quest. I want to touch on the end game before we finish up here, because I did stream my entirety of the playthrough, but when it came to the end game, I didn't know how I was going to tackle it or if I was going to tackle it whatsoever. But I'm sure if I didn't tackle it, a lot of you will be like, hey, Jen, you missed out on some vital story pieces here and some exhilarating battles. Well, I can tell you now, I did the end game. I did all of it, defeated all of the bosses. I had to grind an awful lot on that damn slime island, but I got where I needed to be. I witnessed the story, which was really satisfying with the amount of time that I put into Dragon Quest VIII. And all of the other things that I unlocked as well made me feel I got the most out of Dragon Quest VIII. And yes, I did do the ending once again, for those that are going to ask. And yes, I know there's more endings in the 3DS version, but I'm not talking about that one. Now, the music of Dragon Quest VIII, I just want to shout out one theme in particular that really resonated with me, and one that I just listen on repeat all the time now, and that is the overworld theme. What a beautiful theme to just traverse the overworld with. And I know that the most of the Dragon Quest soundtrack can get the same over time, but when each Dragon Quest game introduces a track like this, I'm all in. And there we have it, Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, done. I don't know where I want to go next, because I have 3 options ahead of me. I have 7, I have 9, and I have 11. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break before I make that decision, but if you want to contribute on where I should go next, let me know in the comment section below. My aim is to do all of the Dragon Quest games, bar 10, so I don't mind what the suggestions are. Just don't spoil anything for me, because this Dragon Quest journey has been incredible so far. If you want to check out all of the previous episodes, there is a card just up there. But I appreciate you watching. Let me know your thoughts of Dragon Quest VIII in the comment section down below, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.